guys, so I'm back to do another book review, and this time it is going to be on The Help by Kathryn Stockett. Now, as far as I know, it's first published in 2009 and it is around 444 pages long. This is actually the UK cover. I think the US one is an orangey yellow with like The Help written in a purple font, but like I said, this is the English, well, the UK cover, the European cover we'll say. And I think it's actually quite a bit more appropriate because when you look at the cover you can kind of get an idea of what the book is actually going to be about in comparison to the American cover, which doesn't really tell you much. So I'm just going to start by reading the blurb on the back like I normally do. Enter a vanished world, Jackson, Mississippi, 1962. Where black maids raise white children but aren't trusted not to steal the silver. There's Aibileen raising her 17th white child and nursing the hurt caused by her own son's tragic death. Minnie, whose cooking is nearly as sassy as her tongue, and white Miss Skeezer, home from college, who wants to know why her beloved maid has disappeared. Skeezer, Aibileen and Minnie, no one would have believed they'd be friends. Fewer still would tolerate it. But as each woman finds the courage to cross boundaries, they come to depend and rely on one another. Each is in search of a truth, and together they have an extraordinary story to tell. So that is what the back of the book says, but just to give a broad overview of what the book is actually about. So like the back of the book says, it's mainly focused on Aibileen, Minnie and Skeezer, and it's set in Jackson, Mississippi at the time of where black civil rights are really coming into question, and Martin Luther King is about to do a march on Washington, well, in the next year. But it's focused around a really tense time in Jackson, Mississippi. Aibileen's son Treelor was actually killed as a result of breaking the rules between black and white people at that time, and Aibileen hasn't been the same since. Currently, Aibileen works for Mrs. Leafold and she minds her daughter May Mobley as part of her job. Aibileen kind of sees herself more of a nanny rather than just a housekeeper. She moves between jobs regularly because once the children grow to an age where they look at Aibileen as being the black maid rather than just the person that raised them, Aibileen doesn't want to stay there anymore because she doesn't want to see the child affected by the beliefs that are out there at that time. Then there is Minnie, who worked for Hilly Holbrook's mother. Minnie is very loud and opinionated, but she is also known for being one of the best cooks in Jackson, Mississippi, if not the best. But the fact that she says what's on her mind all the time has caused a lot of trouble for her. So she has lost a lot of jobs as a result of that. Hilly Holbrook is the head of the Women's League in Jackson, Mississippi, and Hilly basically rules Jackson. Don't cross her. Even Hilly's best friends are kind of afraid to say anything bad to Hilly or about Hilly. So it's a dangerous spot to be in. And then we have Skeezer, who is the main white character in the book. Skeezer has just finished college at Ole Miss. She has come home without a job and she wants to be a journalist, but she only actually sent off one application to become an editor, a copy editor in New York, and she didn't think to apply anywhere else, so she hasn't got a job. So she just arrives home, but she manages to get a job at the Jackson Journal, writing the Miss Myrna columns, which is a cleaning column in the Jackson Journal. But Skeezer having been raised by The Help all of her life, has absolutely no idea how to answer any of the Miss Myrna columns because she hasn't had to clean her own house at all. And so she asks Aibileen, will she help her answer the questions for the Miss Myrna column. While this is going on at the Women's League, Hilly Holbrook has also brought in the Home Help Sanitation initiative, which basically is having separate bathrooms for all of the maids so that they don't have to use the same bathroom as the white people in their houses, because apparently they carry different diseases to white people. So Hilly wants to bring this initiative in and has sent it to the governor. Skeezer is absolutely appalled by this. She doesn't agree with it. She really, even though Hilly has been her best friend all of her life, she just doesn't understand. She just does not agree with Hilly and thinks she's gone too far this time, and it is this Home Help Sanitation initiative that inspires Skeezer to try and write a book about the maids in Jackson, Mississippi and how they are treated by their employers, which is the whole premise of the book, The Help. So what was my opinion of this book? I found it quite hard to get into at the beginning. Whenever Aibileen and Minnie are talking, Kathryn made them have really bad grammar. I kind of felt that was insulting as a way, and it also, for me, it took away from the book because you had to read slower to go through it, and it honestly took me a while to get used to reading the chapters about Minnie and Aibileen because of the way they were written. So that was a downfall. I did get used to it, but initially it kind of put me off the book, and I wasn't sure if I was going to stick to it or not. That was the main thing. The writing and the actual storyline, it took me a while to get into, and I wasn't sure if I was going to finish it, even though it had been raved about. It did actually get better, but there was issues with it. It was the note that Kathryn Stockett had left at the end of the book describing why she had written the book and what her inspiration was for it that actually made me like the book a bit better. She just wanted to give another side of the story, and she knew she wasn't, she could never and would never attempt to portray it completely accurately, and it was bound to upset some people. So I kind of admired her for at least wanting to get another side of the story out, even if it wasn't going to be completely politically correct, or it was going to ruffle some feathers, but still it brought an awareness out there as well that other people might still enjoy. So oddly, I had to finish the book to find that out when I read that, and I was like, do you know what, yeah, you did manage to just show another side of the story, which is always good. But I just feel like it could insult a few people and ruffle a few feathers. But the actual story I thought was, once I finally managed to get into it, I thought it was quite good. And a lot of people as well have been complaining that it was, oh, the white woman comes in to save the day again. I didn't actually feel like that was the way it was written. I really felt like Minnie and Aibileen helped themselves, and it was all of the maids in Jackson that helped voice their own opinions and got themselves out there. She would never have gotten any of that done if it wasn't for Minnie and Aibileen, so I don't know how you could say that she was rushing in to save the day. Overall, it was slow to begin with, and like I said, I wasn't too keen on the way the Minnie and Aibileen chapters were written, so that did let it down a bit for me. So I am only going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I don't honestly think it was as spectacular as everyone was saying, so, but it is still definitely a good read, and I think people still should read it and get another side of the story. But I don't think it's as spectacular as some people are making out, so I can't give it any more than a 3.5 out of 5. I think that's it. So that is The Help by Kathryn Stockett. I will more than likely be doing a movie review of The Help, so stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you are good, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.